Welcome back to Cooking with a Corgi. Today I'm going to show you how to make Svařák. Svařák is a mulled spiced wine from the Czech Republic. My husband and I vacationed in Prague last year and we really enjoyed drinking Svařák while walking around sightseeing. For this recipe, you need a fruity red wine. You don't want this to be too expensive of a bottle of wine because you are going to heat it up and add other ingredients to it. You're also going to need an orange. We'll be using the zest and the fruit of it sliced up. You'll need some light brown sugar, cloves, whole allspice, and some cinnamon sticks. You'll also need a little bag to hold all the spices in. So the first spice we're going to add is a cinnamon stick. You may or may not know that there are two main plants that are used as cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon, otherwise known as true cinnamon. This is the first plant bark that was used to spice cinnamon, but most commercially available cinnamon is actually from the cassia tree. When you smell the cassia cinnamon, it smells spicy and like the cinnamon flavor we're all familiar with. When you smell the Ceylon cinnamon, there are some fruity undertones in addition to the cinnamon flavor. Both types of cinnamon will work for this recipe. I'm going to chop the cinnamon stick into a couple pieces so it fits in the bag a little bit better. All of this goes into our mulling bag. We have about a half tablespoon of whole cloves. I'm going to crush them with my hand a little bit to let some of the oils and flavors out. Any big ones you can just break with your fingers. These also go straight into the mulling bag. We want to do just a rough chop on our allspice berries. You'll need about a tablespoon of these. As I mentioned before, we're going to use both the zest and the meat of the orange. To get the zest off, we're going to use a peeler. These big pieces will be easy to fish out later because no one wants to eat this, but it will provide a lot of orange flavor to the Svařák. Now we have our zest pieces, but there's a little bit of the pith left in places. This is very bitter and we don't want it incorporated into our Svařák. Take them one at a time and use the knife to scrape off any white areas. Once you're done, you might still see a little bit of white, but if it's got an orangey tinge to it, there shouldn't be a lot of bitterness left. Now I'm going to remove the rest of the pith from the orange so that we don't incorporate bitterness in on our orange slices. If you slice the end off, a little bit more than that, you'll be able to see where the rind starts and cleanly expose your orange flesh. With the pith removed, you're going to cut it into slices. About a ½ inch should work. In a large pot over medium heat, you're going to add all of your ingredients and simmer for about ½ an hour to 40 minutes. First, we'll add our wine. Then we'll add our orange slices, orange zest, and spice bag. The amount of sugar you're going to need is going to vary both based on the exact wine you have and your taste preferences. Heating up the wine will bring out the bitterness in it, so you'll need the sugar to counteract that. I usually start with about a ¼ cup and then I can add more along the way if it needs it. You can always add more sugar, you can't take it out. And lastly, I'm going to add about 2/3 of a cup of water. Because this is going to simmer and boil down a little bit, we need to replace that water that will be lost. We don't want this to be too concentrated. I'm gonna put a lid on it. We want this to simmer, but we don't want it to be at a boil. If it's boiling, reduce the heat or move to a smaller burner. Last tip, save your wine bottle. If you have any extra, it's a great place to store it. It's been simmering away for about 40 minutes, so I'm gonna stir and give it a taste. It needs a bit more sugar. That tastes about right now. Now that it's done, you'll want to strain it if your oranges have broken up like mine have. So set up a strainer over a bowl and pour the mixture through. Use the back of the spoon to get some of the excess Svařák out. Since we're having a cold evening here in Boston, I'm going to enjoy some of this right now. Cheers and enjoy!